Good evening, everyone, and welcome to today's this webinar. And today we are going to discuss about Shimbi Invoice, one of our oldest product at Shimbi Labs, which basically, interestingly, we built it for ourselves back in 2005 when we started this organization. And we were looking around for the decent solution, which will allow us to send quickly and efficiently invoice to all our overseas customer. And so we decided to take a look. But what we realized is that there was hardly any online invoicing system that time, and a few of them was just starting up like QuickBook or something. So those were like accounting softwares, and we were not looking for accounting software. We were looking specifically in an invoicing software. Being a software company, young software startup company, we just wanted to invoice so that we can collect the money quickly, efficiently from our overseas customer, and then uh, let our CPA, chartered accountant, do his job. Today also the philosophy remain the same. So we build this invoicing software for ourselves, but it evolved as a product, and then evolved as a SaaS product. And today more than 10,000 customers are trying in Shimbi Invoice from all over the world. And since the beginning of GST regime in India, we have seen a lot of surge in Indian market to using Shimbi Invoice. Shimbi Invoice is completely GST compliant. So today's webinar is going to be in two parts. One is I'm going to quickly run through this presentation, and then I will actually try to install one new account for you, and quickly take you around the different modules of a Shimbi Invoice, and try to discuss some of the cool features that you may find useful. Let's get started, and I hope to finish this um, webinar within 1 hour on time. So I hope that works. Let's see how it goes from here onwards. And definitely there will be some Q&A, for time for you, so you can ask me some questions at the end of the presentation. So Shimbi Invoice is based completely focused on SMEs and SMBs, small and medium-sized enterprises, small and medium-sized businesses, professionals, and freelancers. Essentially, Shimbi Invoice is not specifically for the enterprises. It is for small businesses, professionals who are individuals, and freelancers. So that means Shimbi Invoice will work very comfortably with this set of customer base, and it is designed in a way that it can work with any business which require to invoice first, collect money later. Shimbi Invoice is not POS; it is not a point of sale. So that means it's ideally not useful for across the counter type of a sale, but we are surprisingly seen that few of our customer are using it across the counter also, and we are still surprised. But it works for them, that's good. But our intention is mostly for the businesses who need to first generate invoice and then collect the money. So we are pretty much focused on what we do. What you can do with Shimbi Invoice, suddenly you can send very efficiently and effectively estimates. Sometimes we refer to it as a quotes also. So it means if you start talking with your customer and you reach to some conclusion and you want to prepare a formal proposal and send estimate to your customer, you can do so through Shimbi Invoice very efficiently, very professionally. I will show you how to. Next, you can generate some beautiful invoices. So that means you can actually customize your template the way you want it to look. for your business and brand it, so you can quickly professionally send invoices without mistakes. Usually the mistakes happen in invoice numbering, or sometime choosing the correct tax, and then discounts. And somehow if you are sending a similar type of invoices for your customer, then you tend to make mistakes if you don't use the invoicing software and use something like Excel or maybe Word, because the other two are not later two are not made for invoicing. They are not a professional invoicing software, so you tend to make mistakes in and invoice get rejected and the payment delay. That's a main issue. Also, most importantly, with the Shimbi invoice, you can accept payments online. So it's very efficient to collect the payments to credit card, debit card, net banking, wallet payments, and all the possible digital payment option available out there can be accepted on a Shimbi invoice, and you can quickly collect the money. Through more deeper automation, you can even get the invoice paid automatically, send a thank you note and a payment receipt to your customer. I will show you all those things later in this uh, presentation. Of course, you can still continue to collect offline payment. That means cash payment or a check payment, or you can still do so. You can mark your invoice as manually as a paid invoice. So that is also possible. Next thing is that you can manage all your expenses. You can really keep a watch on your expenses. You can manage your expenses, and some of the cool features that are coming this summer also allows you to keep a track of your expenses. And sometimes you can put uh, some limit on your expense. How if you are crossing that limit, the software will allow give you an alert, or might be with a proper automation, you can even stop yourself spending too much of money. Uh, Definitely, you can set auto reminders. That's one of the very tiring and sometimes tedious job. For a small businesses, you send an invoice and the payment doesn't come, and you want to remind your customer. Sometimes it is quite offensive or scary. But Shimbi Invoice, what you can do is set up auto reminders, and it software does its own job to efficiently collect the money from your customer. What more Shimbi Invoice can do? So pretty much Shimbi Invoice, as it is very easy to use, but it's powerful enough to go global. So Shimbi Invoice is a multi-currency software. That means you can set up all major currencies in Shimbi Invoice and start sending invoice in customer currency, or accepting the payment in customer currency, and do the accounting the backend calculation in your base currency. This is so core to core requirement for us. So that means this particular multi-currency stuff, this feature is not new to Shimbi Invoice. It was built from the version 1, because that was our core requirement when we wanted to build this invoicing software, to send the invoice in a multi-currency to our overseas customer. And that is working fine with this product now. Many of our customers are using it. So you create invoice in Japanese yen, you create an invoice in US dollar, you create invoice in euro, and your customer pay you in their own currency. The Shimbi Invoice take care of all the currency conversion and show you all the reports in your base currency. Next is a multi-user. Shimbi Invoice is a multi-user application. That means if in your company, if there are multiple users who takes care of invoicing, you can just give them access to this software based on their roles. So they will have limited access depending on how you set up their rights, and they can do their job. So you can pretty much collaborate. For example, you have business developers, or maybe project managers, or somebody who can do take end-to-end decisions, so they don't need to wait for you. They can just log into the system, raise the invoice for your customer, and collect the money. So that's one of the fantastic feature of Shimbi Invoice. Here I also want to mention that if your company or your organization wish, they can offer one login to your hired accounting company or your chartered accountant uh, also, so that you don't need to actually pass on any kind of data to them to work on your accounting stuff and tax matter, but actually they can log in by themselves and take the data what they want to process your taxes and accounts. So you just remain focused on your business. That's one of pretty cool features that allow Shimbi Invoice to be very popular among small businesses and a freelancer who usually don't have in-house accountant or a charter accountant for them to take care of it. Shimbi Invoice is not only the multi-user, multi-currency, but it is also multilingual. This feature is right now not publicly available, but we are doing a beta testing and offering customer on demand this feature. So that means you can send your invoice in any language to your customer, probably the language which your customer understand very well. Maybe it can be Spanish, it can be Japanese, or it can be English, it can be Marathi, it can be Hindi, Gujarati, or Thai, or whichever language is completely multilingual software. It also allows you to show the interface into customer language. So, for example, you can use the interface in English, and if your customer is Spanish, he can see his customer interface in Spanish and get his invoice in Spanish. That's possible through Shimbi Invoice. Shimbi Invoice is completely GST compliant in India. It has very cool automation and features where you don't make any mistake while creating a GST invoice. As well as Shimbi Invoice is global tax compliant. In most of the country tax settings can be done through Shimbi Invoice, and it's pretty cool. So that is something which is cool about Shimbi Invoice. And today I don't want to spend too much time on a presentation, but I would like to show you actually, and let's explore the Shimbi Invoice together. So where can you get the Shimbi Invoice? Just go to www.shimbilabs.com/invoice and you can start your free trial. And of course, as promised, those who register for this webinar and logged in here and are present here, I will like to offer you a free software for a lifetime. And when you feel like to update to the bigger tier, you can always update it anytime with a small fees, but until then it remains free for you for a lifetime. So thank you so much for coming here and listening to me. Let's now try to explore how does actually the Shimbi Invoice work. So let me close this presentation for now, and let's go and see how does it work. Let's hope everything goes fine. So, okay, I'll just minimize this, and yeah, so let's try to check how things work with live things. So we go to the shimbilabs.com, shimbilabs.com, and then we go to the invoice. So this way, I'm going to sign up a new account in front of you. Try to set up some sort of a example company here and try to explore the features completely. So yeah, because we don't have huge data, so probably some of the things I may not able to immediately show you, but I will able to explain you because we need more data to explore all the features. But let's see how it goes now. So let's click on to the sign up. It just asks you the two inputs. So let's do here input. So maybe I can say, okay, let me put my name, no problem. By the way, I'm Siddharth Deshmukh, founder of Shimbi Labs. Okay, and I'll just put some email address. Don't make a mistake in email address. If you make a mistake in email address, definitely you will not get a confirmation email and you will not able to install the application. So be careful about that. That your email address should be good and real enough. So let's check if I have email over here. Yeah. So here is an email verification. So that's pretty cool. Here is a link. Just let's click on this link. I'll just close this window. In meantime, we are started installing the Shimbi Invoice. Right away, that's done. Shimbi Invoice is installed. We are going to next screen. Just set up your own password here. Choose the password which is really good for your security. Don't choose the simple password. So password should be between 8 to 30 characters, alphanumeric and one special character. So for now, for convenient, I will just put on some simple software so that we can move quickly ahead. So let's see. So first thing you do here is come to your self profile. So this is a self profile for company as well as if you are freelancer, for both. So those fields which doesn't required, you don't need to fill them as a freelancer, and just keep them and just fill the most important information. So if you have your logo right away ready, we recommend you to have a 70 pixel by 70 pixel logo. But if it is not, then you can still upload some logo. It will I will try to show it better, but this is a recommended size. So let me choose some logo. I think I have some probably here something. All right. So we are today going to quickly try to build a bakery, app. So I just choose this Sweet Tooth logo. So just press open. It's there. Your email address is already there, so you can change this if you wish. But this email address will still remain as your login email address. But if your company email address is different, your people need to contact you. You can still change that email address. I will keep it same for time being and say okay. Let's say Sweet Tooth is a company name. All right. Okay. And the website may be www.sweet.com. That's a website. You can select the industry. This helps a lot to improve us also software, and it helps you also later stage. I will explain you how. So probably I give some address here. E3 arcade and okay. So here is most important thing. Our system automatically detect from where you sign. So it's detected that you are from India. So it's selected as India. So there is one trick. If you select any other country here, you will be setting up the international version of Shimbi Invoice. Then it's not a GST India GST compliant. So be careful. You just want to play around. So I want to show you how it works in India GST today. So I'll keep it India. Then it is very important where is your shop, your company, your organization registration. You must select this accordingly, because this is going to decide your all GST taxation rules. So your state decide all the your GST taxation rules. So be careful about that. So this is where you are really helping software to making working smoothly for you. And so I just put here, wow, there are some auto field information coming up here. So I think this number is cool for me. Then you have some basic regional settings like your base currency, Indian rupee. So what is base currency? Is a currency which you do the accounting in. So that's a base currency. So carefully choose, because after this, as soon as you do any one transaction, like you generate any one estimate or any one invoice, you cannot change this base currency. So be careful to choosing right now. So I'm choosing the keeping it as it is in rupees. Then here is a financial year starting from April in India usually. You can select here language of interface. So we have keep it in English. Then here is a time zone. So all your invoices, reminder, and everything is according to this time zone. Date format is this is cool, and this time format is also cool. So if you can see, as because the upstairs there it detects that you are in India, so you preloaded all the thing which is cool for the India. If you change that, this will change. So if your organization have a GST, add this here. So that's very important for you, because to follow the GST compliance. I think I have something over here I stored for myself to quickly go through. So I have this GST number, some fake GST number over here, because you need to be entering valid format of GST number. I hope this will work. Your bank details, which will be display on your estimates and invoice, so that people can pay you offline. Say ICICI Bank, and number 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9, and bank account name. So okay, let's see, sweet tooth. That's all. Okay, fine. If your IFSC code, say ICIC 1 2 3 4. That's all. Okay, I don't want to add this other stuff. So if you have a PAN card, these are good for to have follow all the GST compliance. So it is useful to put this information. Of course, if you have one, I'm sure if you have a GST, you have a PAN, and yeah, sorry. So you add the PAN number, and I think I'm ready to go. So I finished setting up a company. This is the most important part of the Shimbi invoice that you don't want to skip, because if you skip, or if you put any misinformation here, you will not able to generate correct invoice, and the things will go wrong. All right, we are ready. That's it. Finish. Because I was doing some commentary, so it took a little bit time, but you can actually finish this in a much more less time, and you're ready to generate invoice. Definitely, you can create invoice right away, but it is good habit to check for your preferences and taxes. So let's try to first check the taxes. Usually you don't need to do anything here. Everything is pre-loaded, pre-generated, because right now there is only one tax in India, that is GST. And if your business needs some other tax, like still there is something like export related tax or something else, you can add any additional tax here. So there is a provision, but I don't think most of the people are actually required. So that's the tax thing. And then let's check the preferences. So in preferences, here is a client portal name. So very important thing is that if your business have a very repeated customer, maybe you can offer them a client portal. That means they can still log into their own portal and check their invoice, pay their invoice online, download the data whenever they want. You don't need to actually again and again send them. If somebody lost their invoice or something, you don't need to send it. They can just log in and get it. Or at the end of the year, for their own accounting purpose, they can see entire their payment history and download it and use it. So for me, this is a preloaded. So I will just try to maybe I will say sweet tooth here again, and what will happen is that when you create this, so Shimbi my billing dot biz slash sweet tooth is their portal. So this is what a client portal name is. Let's go. I will try to set up little more cooler cool this thing. So I want my invoice number to start with I and then year. So I will just, maybe I want to have a capital for receipt, estimate E, and for expenses EXP, whatever. You can put anything. Here is 2021 is a year, and here is 1 1 1 1 2 3 4 5 6. So this way you can start your seriesing your invoice receipts and so on. Of course, if you don't want, you can just unclick this and you can keep a normal also, whatever this is. This. So after how many days you should change the password? 90 days is a by default. Usually I suggest people to keep 30 days for a more tighter security. So you must your portal will ask you to change your password very often. All right, so then if you are generating recurring invoice, then probably you want to decide whether you want to send the invoice right away to your customer or keep it as a draft for you to review. So I will skip all other things here and leave it as it is. I come back to this invoice reminder a little later. For time being, let's save it, because I'm very keen to show you something very interesting stuff here to start doing the invoicing. Now let's close this. That's it. Pretty much that's it for most of the people. This much is enough, but there are multiple things. So let me first create 2 invoices for you, and then I will try to explore a few more things over here. Right. I think you are following me so far. So good. I hope so. Let's continue with this here. So let's create the invoice. Oh, sorry, something went wrong here. Wow, I don't know what's wrong. Right, sometimes it will happen. My mate was something doing this thing. Let me try to log in here. So let's go back to the shimbylabs.com and go to the invoice and try to sign in for an account. So Shimbi Labs Gmail, okay. All right, fine. So you because of net something happened. Second time when you come, it just simply disappear that particular page, but it brings you to the dashboard. So I will come back to the dashboard a little later on. So let's go to the invoice and try to create new invoice. So there are 2 ways you create invoice. One is directly you can create invoice. Another is that you first create a customer ledger here. So we'll try to create directly an invoice. So here a couple of things before I start creating an invoice I want to introduce here. Here is most under this is a template. So here you have a product service template. This is for an international customer. I mean, if you are sending invoice to internationally, but what I prefer here is that you use this product and service India GST. That works fine with the international customer also, and usually you don't deal with any kind of a compliance issue. So I'm going to create one invoice for a service and one invoice for the product, just to show you how it differs a little bit. So let's start with first with the product. As soon as I select the product template, you see there is some change here. Some columns has changed, which supports the product type of businesses. So I don't have any customer created. He is no customer. So what I do is add new customer here. So let's try to add new customer, and okay, let me put my personal email address. All right, so name, so okay, so let's put the name and belong to. Here is one very important thing. This is of course India or Maharashtra. Now what happen is that if you don't, if your customer is not in India and if he's outside of India, you select outside. Your GST setting work accordingly, because you don't need to charge GST to the export invoice. So your invoice will not show any kind of a GST tax there. So that's a very important thing. So I and then next come to the state. State is very important because it decide whether you are going to charge the GST or you are going to charge the IGST. That is in CGST or IGST. So if my customer is in Maharashtra, that means my shipping address is in Maharashtra. I select the uh, this invoicing address is in Maharashtra, I select Maharashtra. If my invoicing address is the one who is going to pay me outside of Maharashtra, I select that, and the tax treatment will change accordingly. So keep that in mind. So let's go with the Maharashtra for time being. So I put the Maharashtra here. Of course, my here you select the currency for the customer. So if your customer is international customer and you are sending to in some of the international currencies here, these are some default major currencies. Of course, you can add many more currencies here. Then you can change here. So the invoicing will be in a customer currency. So I just keep it in Indian. I say can pay me in 7 days. That is the payment terms. So if your customer has a GST, put it here. All right. So probably okay. Let me try to put maybe I just copy the same GST number with some make some small change and back. Say let's say CD. All right. So if customer has PAN number, you can always add that. So okay, for time being, I'll just skip that and say save. That's it. I added my customer over here. If you have any purchase order, you can add here. And this is invoice date. Automatically the payment terms appear. So based on that, the due date is decided. Now here I have option to add the item or directly type the item. So right now I never added any item, so I'm going to directly type. So I'm going to do two-way. So let's try. How does it work, right? So because of cake shop, so let's do this. Chocolate. Oh, sorry. All right. Cake. So I added this here and say like goes 1 all right. So this if you know HSN, that is your product code, put it here. If you don't know, just keep it. This you can always talk to your chartered accountant and take more information from them, that what should you use there. For timing, I'll just skip it and I'll say okay, fine, this is 1 kg. What will be the fair amount? Say 600 rupees. Fine, great. I mean, I like in that range probably. So if you want to add some discount, you can always add in a percentage or you can add in actual amount. So for time being, I'll just skip this, and then here is the most important one. Here, because my customer is also in Maharashtra, I am also in Maharashtra, so it shows me the GST, that is CGST, and you have to just select in which slab you falls, right? So 12%, suppose, for example. So this way you added an item. There is another way to add item, is that probably you can go to the in the beginning only and create all multiple item you're going to sell on a regular basis, or if you are here and you don't have that item, you can just add that item here. Let's see how it goes. So we have that, and so let's see pastry, and let's see, vanilla pineapple this time, and I skip the unit. If you want, you can always select these are units, all bags, box, cans, and then kg and numbers and all sort of units. So for time being, I'll just skip that. I don't know the HSN SSN. I can skip it here. Here, if you put some number, then it start maintaining the inventory. But if you just leave it blank, then it is unlimited number of items available to you. So this, let's say it is a 50 rupees, and the tax, GST tax is at 12%, and if I'm selling outside of Maharashtra, still it is 12%. Usually in India right now it is the same. Is there any other tax you can add, and then save it? Now what happened, it not only took that here, and it fills entire information, but it saved also for the future. So that means next time when you want to come here, it will start showing in a next invoice that item. So and you can just select it. You don't need to actually add all the information manually. So if you have any shipping charges, like, okay, I'm going to do the home delivery, so maybe my shipping charges are 30 rupees, and so I am ready with my invoice over here. There are two options down here. You can add any payment terms if you wish to add. For time being, I skip. If so, you can say save and send or the draft. Okay. So if you space draft, it is still not finalize the invoice. And if I say save and send, it just save the invoice and it sends the invoice to customer. My invoice is done. Now I can see that invoice here. This is how my logo is here, my address is here, my billing address is here. Here is the invoice number, date, payment terms, your items, and everything, all details here. Bifurcation of the tax, how much is CGST, how much is SGST, and all. Your bank details are all here. That's all. What you can do over here is print or download original copy, download or duplicate copy, or transferred copy, whatever you can do, or send the invoice again by this email again, if that's how it works. So let's try to find out if it reached to email also. So we go to the Gmail, and here is sweet tooth, send me an invoice. Here is the invoice. Here is email, and here is my invoice in PDF format. Cool. So customer got his invoice copy, and we got this thing. There is one more thing I want to explain here. If if you have set up a payment gateway, here the links goes with this invoice, and the customer can click on the link and pay you online with credit card, debit card, whatever. They can pay you online from there, and it gets paid. So now that we are on this invoice, there is a possibility that, okay, customer paid you. You just go to the generate receipt or payment receipt. How did he paid you? Suppose say by cash. He paid in full amount. Yeah, if you say this is 758, but if I say no, he paid only me 200 rupees, it allows you. Shimbi Invoice allow you to have a partial payment. That means you can you can allow the customer to pay in installment if you wish, but if you don't wish, that's fine. So I think it was 758. Let me try. So I will save, and it's done. My receipt is also ready. This also went by email. And what happened to my invoice? So if I go on, okay, I can see from here also. So invoice is paid, and now it is 0, no balance here, and here is an entry how he paid on the invoice also. So that's pretty much cool. Same process happened when actually the people go and click on the link and go and pay you online. So that's a online payment. How what you have to do is to get the online payment. Go to the payment gateways under the setting and set one of these: cash free, Instamojo, Razorpay, PayPal, or this. And at this moment we are also accepting the request from the our customer that if they have some other payment gateway, we can quickly integrate that payment gateway for them here. So that is also possible. So I showed you the invoice part of it. So quickly let me go through the other part. Like here is you can add customer or your vendor in the beginning only. So that means you keep the create a ledger. You see here I already created that customer and his entries already here, and I can see how much total business he gave me so far. I can quickly go and generate an invoice. So I'm going to take you to the one flow here, which you can automate in your Shimbi invoice. What you can do? So okay, this is so there is say a big party going to happen at Mr. Sidhu's home, and he want to order a big cake, but for that he asked you the estimate. So let's see. I want to send the estimate. So what I want to do here is that I select a customer. First I go and select the proper template. By the way, this if you want to avoid doing this every time, what you can do is, let me show you quickly. You can actually go to the templates and you can select which is the default this thing. So let's try this time service. So I say service is my default template, and I say save. And when you go to the estimate and create new estimate, this time you don't need to select, it's by default. So now this is a service template. So item things has gone. So most probably service people just need a description, but there is one more possibility also. This entire column things you can customize through this this template. Here you can actually decide which column to add and which column to not to add. Okay, so large fruit cake of say 5 kg on say 24. Oh, when is lockdown going to finish? Okay, 3rd. So let's do the party 4th May. May 2020, and then go ahead. Say price is maybe 5,000 rupees. Okay, and I want to offer this time discount of say 5%. So I'm gonna offer that discount. So I offer discount. So this is my discounted price, and then I am also setting a proper tax over here. And this is estimate. This is not an invoice. So you say save and send. So sorry, I forgot to select the customer. I hope everything is fine. Yeah, save and send. So actually it's sent. So it went on email, customer email, exactly this. This is an estimate. This is not an invoice. So what happened is that once through automation, you can send him one link where he can accept it. So if he accepted it, directly convert to the invoice, and you can start processing the order. Or otherwise, he call you and say, okay, that's cool, not a problem, great. So what you do is a convert to invoice, and you simply go and fetch entire data. Come here. It refers that this is a purchase order, that is in estimate number. You want to make any changes here, you can still do this. Otherwise, you just select the proper tax once again, and then just go ahead. That's it. Simple. Save and send. Finish. So I demonstrated you estimate to invoice, and this time I created a service invoice, and as you can see, one invoice is paid, another invoice is still pending. These are the invoice numbers. So that's pretty cool. So this is there is another possibility that you can generate a recurring invoice. That means if you for example that you in your organization you want to celebrate some first Friday of every day, and you want to have some cookies on those day, and you say, okay, every time send me this particular cookie, this much is the quantity, and this is every month. So what I can do is that I just can go here and create a profile where I just put for Shimbi, what is the frequency every month. If there is a purchase order given by Shimbi, you can add here, and from where my invoice to start. So maybe from tomorrow my invoice should start, or maybe from next month I start this contract. Is there end date? No, then no end date. So fine. Any payment term, say payment in 15 days, and you add the items, blah blah blah. Everything saved. What happened is create a profile, and every month this date, 1st of May, 1st of June, 1st of July, it will create automatically the same invoice, same amount, everything same, and customer can pay. You don't need to worry. That's a recurring invoice. Let's look at the expenses. So here in expenses, actually what you can do is you can add monthly expense. I'll try to add one expense over here. This is pretty cool because once you have an invoice side and expenses side, you can very easily get the GST report, which you can directly submit to your CA, or even if you wish, you can directly process your GST on a GST portal because you have a direct report here. So here is a vendor name. Here is not a customer name. So you can add actually the vendor over here. So I just add some email address, maybe again this one, and maybe okay. I just select this and display name same, and his country and state. Again, this is very important for you to understand the GST thing. So you just select it properly. Rest my this Shimbi invoice will take care of it. Customer currency Indian rupees. If he has a GST group, if he's non-GST vendor, that is also fine. And let's say non-GST vendor. So I added him here, and towards what, for what you are paying this. So okay, I say I always purchase printing papers from him. So it is towards that. This is already pre-selected. So I spend this save on okay, today only I'm going to spend or spend. So taxable amount. So I'm going to here add a taxable amount, not post-tax amount. So for example, I bought some two boxes of paper A4 size, and each cost me 250. So say 500 rupees is my this thing. And when he because his bill is with him, you just can see he put 18% GST. You select that. This is what is this thing, and then his invoice number. So maybe his invoice number was B123, and invoice date was probably 14th, and I am going to pay him through what. So I'm here. You can create your different accounts. So I say pay cash. I created one ledger account here, and I say how did I pay. So let's do one thing. Let's pay him through check. Check of ICICI. Check date is today's, and check number is 12345. That's it. Save. And in paid version, this is because this is a free version plan. In paid version, you can also upload the receipt with the help with this expense. So this is how you can keep the track of expenses. This summer we are coming with a cool feature where you can keep I will spend money on this type of expense, only this much, travel this much, on stationery this much, on this you put a limit, and you start getting a report against the expenses, against the limit, how much you are spending. And you can even set up and say that, what, if you are crossing that limit, stop me from spending. That is also coming here. So here are multiple reports out here. This is a last part, and then we can go probably a little bit look at the setting, and then I'll open up for the Q&A. So here you can see the sales by customer. So here is go today. So here this month this week, of course, it's going to show me the same invoice because this week it comes into this. Let's see the last month. Of course, there is nothing because we started today. So definitely this is one you can download the report. So by item, by currency, by users, then payment received, then withholding tax. If anybody is holding your tax that is TDS, then you can see how much TDS is withhold or how much TDS you have to pay both way. Is there any due invoice? Let's check today. No due invoice. Wow, great. And next, sorry, not last month. This month, is there any due invoice? I think there should be one. Yes, there was one. This is the one invoice still due, not paid. So there, and the most important here are GST reports. So you have this GST R1, GST R1 6B, then GST R1 7B, and GST R10 export report, and this is inward of supply. That's you usually just download this report and give it to your charter accountant. He can file your GST very easily. Let me check if I have maybe B2C. I have for April. No, I don't have. I think it goes into the B2B. Yes, I think our customer has this thing. Yes, correct. He has a GST number. That means it is B2B. So the system automatically detect. You don't need to worry about which entry to put into B2B, which entry to put into B2C, and blah blah blah. You don't need to seriously do anything of that. Just press export, give it to your CA. That's all. Or press export, download it, and upload to the GST portal. That's it pretty much here. So in settings, let's look at some of the settings here. Here are the email templates. So as you know, I show you this email over here. This is default template. What if you need to change, what you do is that you just select pickup, like for example, new invoice generated. So you can edit it. This is a default text. You can change it. You can brand it. You can do whatever with it. Just make sure those in the star, you don't touch them, because those are placeholders to capture the data. You can add these many placeholders into this email template. So the email templates, taxes I already discussed. Then currencies, yeah. So if you are sending anybody multi-currency, these are 7 major currencies we provided here. You can add always new currency. So say let's add which. Maybe let's add this Belgium dollars and BZ, and this is you want to use your conversion rate, or you want to just put automatic. It will fetch the data from the currency exchange servers, and it will automatically send and activate. And what is the currency format? Probably the international one will take this thing and then say save. That's it. You added the new currency over here, and you can start sending invoice in that currency also. Then we saw the preferences template. This thing. The best part is that if you're an advanced user, and if you have some say e-commerce website or something, with the help of API, you can integrate these two software together. So payment gateways I already discussed, and of course you can see the activity logs. That means if you have multiple users working on this, you can always see which user done what. This is username, time, and what action he took. So far, while showing you the demo, I almost took these actions. I went to preferences, I went to customer, I went to item. See the last thing, I went to the currency. Everything is recorded here, so you can always know who done what time, which day is over here. So because this is a free plan, so here is only one user, but in a advanced plan you can always create more users. and give permission and ask people to come and collaborate with you. So uh, I think that is pretty much, yeah. One important thing I wanted to show you this over here. Let's go to the preferences and let's do one setup over here. So here is the invoice reminder, which is very important, I guess. So let's say I want to send the reminder after generating, say before due date. Say 7 days, also 3 days, so 3 days before the due date. So I say okay, 3 before due date. Then I can add more on 1 day before the due date, and I can add more, and I say 0th day of due date, and then I can add more. This time I say after due date immediately, another that your invoice is due, and after due date I say after 3 days I will send, and you can save it. Now what happened is system automatically before the 3 days of due date, before 1 day of due date, on the due date, after due, that means overdue, it keeps sending the reminders softly. And in an email template you can always decide the language of that reminder that's there, so that you don't seems very arrogant, but you always softly remind people that the payment is there. We have seen this reminder really helps small businesses to get paid time, at least 45% of the time they get paid on time. 30% of the time they get paid far earlier than actually now earlier they used to get paid. So this is very effective mechanism. Beyond that also, you can always see here some overdue invoices. If there is any overdue, there is no, and you can always send manual reminders from here. So let's go to the dashboard quickly. Let's see what is there on dashboard. Of course you can customize this dashboard. Everybody will not see this thing. So for next 15 days, this is the invoice. In next 15 days I will get paid, that because this due date is 7, so I'm going to get paid on by 23rd, that is. So total amount I'm going to get paid, so I know in 15 days how much money I'm going to get. Here I can at a glance see today how much I earn, how much invoice I raised, how much actually I got paid, and is there anything due this week, this month, and so on, and the total over here. So you get, now if you say in invoice there are invoice, one is paid and another is not paid. So this is not paid, this is paid, so that's why it is, but both due date is 23rd. So what it is saying is that this week I total generated this many invoice, but I got only paid for this, and 0 is due because it's not yet overdue. So it thinks 0. So but this month then it become beyond 7 days, and it starts showing you, this much I was generated, this much I already get paid, but this much is overdue. So you can get at a glance what is a position of the this thing, your cash flow over here. So I think that is pretty much from my side, and let's open up for the Q&A. So let's do it now. Just give me 1 minute. I'll just have my water here. All right. So I will stop sharing now, and yeah. So that was it pretty much. And so if you have any question, I am open to answer your question. So yeah, please, if do you have any question, either you can type, you can through your chat, or you can ask me. I'm allowing you to talk, or you can use the chat function if you have any question for me. So this is very much invoicing software. This is not an accounting software, but because we believe the small businesses, freelancer, individual, always pass on their accounting to their chartered accountant, and they should focus more on doing their business, developing their business, building their business, and not really doing accounting. So what you need is a decent invoicing software where you can quickly invoice and send invoice to your customer to get paid quickly and fast. So that's the purpose. We try to keep the screen as clean as possible, as decent as possible, but we haven't really burden you through many technical stuff. So yeah. Okay, I have few questions here now. Does this software include following? One, auto email for a payment follow-up. Yes, I show you the demo. The bank reconciliation and other banking features. No, at this moment, Indian Bank doesn't allow to do the automatic reconciliation. So you can always download the statement from the software and reconcile with your bank statement, but directly it is not possible right now. Maybe some of the bank in future may open to access their bank account through APIs, and maybe we'll able to, but not for now. Uh, so the registration email and the profile ID can be different. Yes, it can be different. I already mentioned you. See, registration email address is for your login purpose, and the profile email address is will be printed on your invoice. So both can be different. What we do is that on during onboarding we just keep the same so that you can quickly get in, but you can always change it anytime. I hope that is pretty much I answered the two questions over there. If any question more, uh, okay. So thank you very much for joining me today for this webinar, and I hope I try to explain the Shimbi invoice as much as possible to you. We have your email addresses and names. So what we are going to do is we are going to say send you the sign up link. Please sign up for a free band. It's there for your lifetime. You can use as much possible. There is only one limitation that you can add up to only 5 customer. After that, you can always go for a upgrade. Thank you very much for today, and I appreciate your time. Thank you so much.